Masango bulega
indaba yami yamadlozi le ngikhule nayo ekhaya kunezangoma abo anti bami basayidla kabo bami bathwasile so abanye bakhona bashiya isikhwama and kabo babami umkhulu wami bekathanda ukuthi aphahle asibize yabona kuphahle manje umkhulu makashona yaphela le ndaba yokuthwasa yaphela le ndaba yamadlozi so umama wami vele umzalwana ubabami ngizothi angazi zothi uyini ngoba ubabami understand indaba yamasiko and we're actually very close. I'm actually daddy's girl. Indaba yokuphahla bekuphahliwa vele kabo babami. Kabo mama angikhumbuli siphahla ngoba lapha kuhamba indaba yesonto yobuzalwane kuyesontweni. So I actually grew up in the church. I went to Christian schools. I'm a born again Christian. Well, I could say I was a born again Christian. I even went that route to know let me participate in the church. I was a Sunday school teacher. So that was probably, I could say, 3-4 years before
that was actually my experience as well. I spent a lot of time in the church. I was brought up in the church. It's similar to you as well. My mom's family, I've never partnered with that side of the family. I don't ever recall anything of that sort. But also because and that because that is where my gogo worked. She worked as a nurse, and she was a Christian, and she was a hlope. She married into the Simelane family, and lapha begenzele khona, which then is the Kabo Mam. It's not somewhere that we used to visit a lot, so I don't have any experience of Ema rituals wabo as a child. And then now, but ekhaya ngiyakumbula Kabo Baba kuthi, even though I didn't know kuthi there were some gomas, I learned now. So now when I was actually on this route and now seeking to understand what it is that was actually happening to me and why it was happening to me. And then I remembered that, no man, but this experience is of partly because I had not ever partnered on my own because I was a prayer person and I was a church person. Then I would recall these things. Ekhaya bekwendiwa lento le well ekhaya kagogo ekhabo baba bekwendiwa lento le and I recalled exactly what used to happen, how we would sit around the lawn door, even us as children, everybody in the family would be invited into the room and we would all sit together but then as a child you also have no real knowledge of what is actually happening whatsoever. But I remembered that I actually liked those times. I was actually really happy. And then umkomboti buhamba around when everything the lebendiwa bendiwa bese sekuyahambiswa leziwo lomkomboti and everybody would drink and to thumbela kuyabonga each time maphanga gocweni, which is my surname. And even when it would come to us as children, we would also be encouraged to participate and to actually drink from Lelo Kamba, which is Lutzio in my language. So it's actually interesting that we actually have a similar background. In church, I was also a very active member of the church for each church that I actually went to, except Rema, because Rema was so structured and so it fed for me the need to just go in and fellowship with people and leave, and that's what I liked about Rema. Other churches require that are more intimate. You find yourself thrown into roles because of your abilities and your personality as well. So same as you, I may not have been a Sunday school teacher, but I was, which I think is just amazing. Because the responsibility to actually guide children cannot be done by anybody. That's a gift on its own. But I was in hospitality a lot of the time. I would take care of the people. At the time, it would be guests, and then it would also then move on to new members to make them comfortable in the church. And yeah, that was my role, which I found to be more in line with what I like to do because I loved to host. So church is I think is the training ground for a lot of
And it's sad that some churches, basically, they reject us as izangoma, baswane izangoma. But the very same people, bazoza githi, bazohlola ngama back door. And then kusasa ugogo makangisizile angibuyi ngizobonga lelo dlozi lingisizile naye namadlozi akaligogo ngithi hayi ngibonga laba abasesontweni simosha lapho.
Interesting.
Uyangiva ingogo.
No,
ngoba mina ubonge nala uthola isizo lakho khona.
When I was still going to church, I was clueless about Dangoma.
I was in denial.
I was clueless. You were in denial because in your part of your family, like you say, was Adibako with Dangoma. So you actually knew and you were exposed to this part of spirituality.
But
how did you marry the two?
They themselves, my aunts, my dad's sisters, bafike bathwasa bashiya so bengisasemncane. So le ndaba yobunyanga, when my time came, it was as if ivaliwe azange yafuna ukukhulunywa. Kwathiwa hayi alikho kunadlozi njani kwacima kwacisha. Ila sengithi hayi sengiyahamba ngiphehlweni. Ila ke ubaba mwathi ngikhumbula kuyimi ubabami, bhuti wami, umyeni wami nomalume wami. Umalume wami waqala ke angisho niyazi ukuthi kuthiwa idlozi liyabangwa. Kunjalo. Umalume wami wathatha injeti nepalo. Wabeka lapha wathi na izinto zakamama. Akhuluma nga my maternal grandmother. Manje my maternal grandmother passed away kudala before I was even born. But apparently naye bekana leyo gift. So ukuthi ukuthwasila kathwasanga azange ngatshelwa lo. But umalume wami the way bekasho ngakhona wathi hayi I'm sure uyithola kithi le gift. Khani ke so baba mwacala wathi nomntanami le ndaba yakho yedlozi ngiye understand indaba sekhaya ngoba abosisi bami bayi2 bathwasa mara wena bengacabanga ukuthi uzothwasa. But nevertheless my brother he's also a healer uphunyuka bamphethe. He supported me at a time when you must understand ukuthi makusekungena indaba zamadlozi my father will support because indaba yakiba ngisho but idemon la kimi. Yayibona umama ngimthanda ngenhliziyo yami yonke umama ne mara umama akayisupport indaba yami yobunyanga till namhlanje. And that is where kuba nokuclasha ngoba mina namhlanje angikwazi ukuthi ngingene ekhaya. Ngiyafika ekhaya kodwa ngingene ngihlala ngaphandle ngoba angisho sengihamba nabo labantu abadala. So mangizongena phakathi kumagulube ngingena nabo kumele ngenzelweni umsebenzi. Uyayizwisisa? So angeke ngithi ngizofika ngithi ngiyenza umsebenzi umama womuzi athi akalifuni lelo dlozi. So ngenza njani? Ngibuka amahotela nomyeni wami silala emahotela manye Limpopo. Anginakhaya, ngintandane. So mele ngihambe ngiyenza umsebenzi le kamkhulu wami. Yila ngizoya khona ngizenza umsebenzi. Yila ngizothi ikhaya lami ke lapho. Until such a point umama mazothi hayi se ukhulekile ungangena. Nalapho angimfakela ipressure ngiya understand ukuthi no unama beliefs wakhe nami ngama beliefs wami. Lento le angisho uyazi ukuthi mawugobela some of the challenges lezi uzifaceayo wena uface nokuthi uzokwazi ukusiza abanye. Sometimes angeke ulapha umuntu into ongakandluli kuyo. Kuba kanjalo.
That is so true. Bakhuluma kanjalo. It's just making me reflect on how bantwana bebantu labafika la esikhathini lesiningi have been bantwana who have no one supporting them. The people who come especially as orphans, but they actually do have people. And it actually reminds me of my own experience. I also know how to welcome them. I've learned ukuthi bangeniswa njani bona esigodlweni lapho. Even though noma bangenisa kanye there's different ways ekungenisa laba labafika banga support your family. It's actually very tricky for even when as uGobela. But if had I not gone through that, I think I would handle it differently. I wouldn't know how to ably handle it. in your bande, how you get to be boGobela? Are the rites of passage there, or do you just become a GOBELA because sekunabantwana labafuna ukuthwasiswa who have been shown you as their GOBELA?
Ikayithu rites of passage definitely ukuthi kumele ube nabantwana, and maso nabantwana umntana wakho wokuqala empandeni ulobola ngayo kuGobela. Khani ke sekuzothi unentwaso ulobola ngomntwana oyi-1 khona ngisho once ulobolile ngaloyo mntwana khani sewazi ukuthi unentwaso, sekhani se lo wesi-2 wakho, lo wokuqala wakho ngegama kodwa inkomo yakhe yolobola ngaye kuGobela wakho ukuthi ube nempande ukuthi wazi ukuthi ukhulise.
So when you lobola with that child, that is when your GOBELA gives you impande?
Yes.
Okay.
Ithwasa ne angeke ulithwasise uyi-1 wakho mara angeke ngoba kunezinye izinto uzodinga abantwana basempandeni ukuthi kwazi ukuthi nisize ngoba omunye ugifted kwama drums, omunye ugifted ekugideni, omunye ugifted kumpande, omunye ubusy newasho, omunye isithunya sakhe you understand. So ithwasa malifika lifana nebaby ncane, so ibaby mayifikile you know ukuthi ibaby ihlanganisana umndeni. So umntana makafikile uyazi ukuthi kune process ukuthi kwenziwani lapha. Angeke ngene into details imfihlo zethu zobunyanga ukuthi siyam accepta kanjalo. Mina ngithokoza impande yethu umajoy. So siyamkhulisa umntana, siyamamukela, you know, sibona ukuthi idlozi lakhe linjani, nalo idlozi liyasho ukuthi lifunani. You understand? It's not like a one way ukuthi na syllabus B me thatha. Yeva mele sizwe na ukuthi nalo ledlozi lifunani ngoba it's not about thina sesicedile. It's about ukuthi lo mntana aphume seka right. We understand? Azi ukuthi mafike ekhaya nalo idlozi lizosho ukuthi okay lo simfuna ukuthi asebenze endumbeni, lo sifuna ukuthi abreak ama generational curses, lo sifuna ukuthi ahambe yena abe ne business, or maybe you understand asifani ene yila kuba nenkinga ebungomeni ngoba mina ngifuna ukufana nozibani bani kanti idlozi lami alifuni lokho.
You know what I think also is a challenge for itangoma letiqedza ukuthwasa kuba ngokuthi they're trying to find themselves. Ngokuthi okay, so where do I actually fit in? And the disruption to that process of finding themselves is the exposure to all other sangomas and what they're doing on social media. So that has been such a disruption that people are not waiting for idlozi labo. This is my opinion. To see Gogo, this is where I am actually, this is where my ancestors want me to work. This is where I'm being guided to. And what we're doing now is seeing what other sangomas are doing on social media, because we have become, we are really out there, which is really beautiful. And but there's ways in which it is actually tripping us, because now instead of waiting for idlozi lam and looking at which idlozi lami will consider everything that it has actually I've been gifted with to direct me, which this is how I'm supposed to work, and this is what idlozi actually wants. I am looking now at what other sangomas are doing, and I am basing my mission, for lack of a better word, I'm basing my mission on what the other sangomas are doing, and I'm basing it on, and that then what happens is that then we do not get to be what we were meant to be, because now our focus is not idlozi. It's that now saying to Asile, this is what Gogo, other Gogos are doing, or the Gogos that I like are doing, and this is what I am also going to try and emulate and do that, instead of being authentic. So what I'm finding is that is a big challenge. It's something that is supposed to be so good, the exposure, the media and everything around Bungoma, the attention that it has around it. I'm finding that it also has this effect that is actually negative, in that it is stealing from us our authenticity, and if it's stealing from us, it's also stealing from the people that were supposed to heal, because now I'm not using my idlozi, I'm going according to what other Gogos are actually doing. So it's iyatshontsha from us and from the beneficiaries of the gift.
You're a lion and now you're trying to be an elephant. Angeke kufane. Kwa nasempanzini singathwasa impanzi one semgobelo one kodwa ama roles nama purposes wethu ubunyanga bethu angeke kufane. Angeke kufane. Mina mangantshela ngeexperience yami. Not in a million years did I ever think ukuthi mina bunyanga kahleni bu. I've never been to a healer. I had never been to a healer. La ngifike khona ngithi ngiyohlola bengihlolisa inkinga zasekhaya ngoba angisho yazi ukuthi ma umndeni ungahambi ngendlela yamasiko. Angisho my grandfather passed away, so my father is the firstborn son wakhe. Bese ke kwenzakala napho ke abasaphahla idlozi lenza liyaflathela ziyaqala inkinga amabhadi left right and center sekwenza kuba ne vingving. You understand? Kwenzakala izinto zokuthi isimanga to a point ukuthi uthi yazi ethi ngiphume hayi maybe esontweni lento le ba try ukuthi bayisiza akusizakala hayi manje ngenzani fonela uantami anti ngizobathi kunesangoma njani laba bantu bayasebenza kodwa mina ngizazi izangoma hayi satotoba nobaba midla sihlola. So my first experience at a healer mangifika bengazi ukuthi kuthiwa khumula icathulo nokuthi indumba. You understand? Bengikhashwa mina ngithi siyobheka inkinga zasekhe kwenzakala. Bengazi nokuthi kuthiwa kumele ubambe isikhwama uthathe inhlolo ufaka umoya. Bengazi nokuthi mangithi ngifaka ngoba bengayohlolela mina bengiyohlolela inkinga zasekhaya ukuthi ngibheke ukuthi kwenzakalani ngalobhuti wami kwenzakalani. You understand? Ngoba ukhona umntana sekhaya angifuni ukungena deep ngoba you understand ukuthi izo affecta ne family njani. So but kube ne problem so ila ke batshela mina indaba zami bangitshela ukuthi nginamadlozi kumele ngiyothwasa. Ngathi yahlanye lo mina ngeke ngithwase.
Do you even know me?
Hayi ngeke ngithwase. Ukuhlola zona mara zokuthwasa bengithi kanti ukhuluma iqiniso. So la ngizwile ngibe ne denial kwenzakalani ngathola isizo ngisho nalelo sizo mabangisiza it's a case of okay that's fine whatever asibone nje it's a desperate attempt ukuthi sizobona ukuthi bayasebenzana kanti kasebenzeka. That's when my path yokuthi ngifike eGoli ngabuyela eGoli my husband naye kuba right kwalunga hayi zabuya futhi inkinga mele nanje ngiyohlola phela ngicheck ukuthi kwenzakalani hayi ahamba ngayohlola manje sengiyahlola bangitshela ngendaba yamadlozi amaphupho ayangihlasela hey ngiphupha ubuhlalo na yimi lo phupha izangoma manje emsebenzini imoto yaphanje mangifika emsebenzini kuba nomsini mangiceda ukuthi ngibasubmitele the 2 stories ngene emotweni yami ngiyalala ngiyaphupha futhi ukuthi umanager nama editors beyothini naphupha ukuthi ubani uphethe umuthi ubani ungenzani ubani uyenza banjani ubani uyothola ipromotion omunye uyoqoshwa kwenzakalani khehla ngoba namhlanje bathi mele wena uhambe wena uye uyothatha ubunyanga kodwa namhlanje wena ngisho ufuna ukutshela thina ukuthi kwenzakalani. So uzozihamba le inyanga bakutshela into e1 until uzofike kulabo bathi hayi ngizokuthwasisa ngoba se udesperate manje sewufuna ukuthwasa ngizokuthwasisa akwenziwa kanjalo. Mina ngibelieve ukuthi umuntu kumele abonise idlozi lakhe ukuthi uyapi nale ukuthi ithwasana lithi isithi hayi izangizokuthwasisa it's very very wrong. Sayimosha lapho ezaboGobela. Umntana wedlozi kumele abonise ukuthi uyapi uyalinda idlozi likubonisa ukuthi uyapi. Ila ke sekuzovuleka yonke into enye into futhi angeke mina ngibelieve ukuthi angeke ungene ekuthwaseni unemali idlozi liyakustrip angisho ma unemali une-ego mele ube yitapade ma uyithwasana mele uzobekezela kanjani unamaphiko ngoba ngirich mina ngigcwetha ngiyini ngi-CEO ngihamba nani asinandaba thina ezabogobela ukuthi sifuna wena sifuna idlozi lakho sifuna ukuthi silikhulise ledlozi ukuthi lihambe liyosebenza ukuthi liyosebenza kanjani idlozi yilo lizobona ukuthi kusebenzeka kanjani into ebalekile ukuthi umntana wabantu kumele angene afunde adle impande ahamba ukuthi ayovula ekhaya so inkinga ukuthi futhi kusuka kuba nezimfihlo kuba nokuganga indaba isemsana mina ngibhilive ukuthi laba abanye mabalahla ubunyanga bathathe kunye bese abanye bazifihle ngibhiliva kanjalo it's not all cases but ngikhuluma ngepersonal experience yami ukuthi abantu bayakwazi ukuthi bazivale ngesonto kodwa namhlanje kube yibo futhi benza izinto zasebumnyameni bese ke ngoba wena uyinyanga ngisho ucedile yokufanele bathi hayi uye lo that is why ngibiza ukuthi inyanga ayihlale endlini ngibhiliva kanjalo ingabe inyanga ukuthi uthanda izinto na uyale hlala you understand idlozi ali mina ngikhulumela lami uyangive gogo nokuthi namhlanje hayi mina lo namhlanje kusasa sengithandana nalo linda idlozi lokubonisa ukuthi okay now zibanibane nizokhula nonke elinye alifuni indoda or alifuni umfazi amadlozi ethu awafani so idlozi kube nzima ukuthi abantu nokuthi balithemba ukuthi for sure lo muntu inyanga yeyiva kwamina bengazithembi
nje
ngoba angisho uthi hayi ngiyondlulisa bakufuna lapho ukudluliseni wena ukuthi uthi uyondlulisa kujika futhi ukusebenze wena
yeah
and uyosebenza endumbeni bese senza njani sithatha ama honors bathi phansi ama degree bathi phansi umsebenzi uphela khona lapha ephehlweni uyoblame uGobela akusifault yakagobela so I problem le mina ngiyibonayo between amathwasana naboGobela some of the problems yenza ukuthi ithwasa lifuna ukuthi nalo licontrol idlozi angeke kwamina la midlozi ngilicontrol ikucontrola mina angisho ngizenza mabathi into so asifuni umuntu so asimfuni hayi ukuthi asimfuni ngoba bathi avoid or whatever basuke bane reason ukuthi into so umuntu so asifuni you understand so sometimes sifuna ukuthi thina we want to find ourselves in spaces and with people and in places where we are not supposed to be in. And you also spoke about comparison. Obunyanga, it's supposed to kill the ego. So what happens? We become very, very inflated that we think ukuthi mangisebenza is because ukuthanda kwami. Manginento so kanti no, it's because of amadlozi. And inyanga angeke iqede ukwenza umsebenzi. Uyayizwisisa? Gogo, angisho mele uhambe uyonyathela kabo gogo. Nini unyathela kabo mkhulu. Nini bathi unyathela kuphi? Nini bathi bacela ukuthi ubonge. Nini bathi bacela ukuthi ushweleze. Uyayizwisisa imisebenzi ama rituals lawo. So, ma wena sothi hayi ngiqedile ukuthwasa mina ngiright. Awukaqedi. Usaqhubeka at school even when you are done. Mina my GOBELA would tell me athi kimi usazofunda kunezinye izinto angeke ufundise yimi uzofundisa idlozi lakho enebeka qinisile ngoba nalo liyakukhulisa nama challenges angeke uthi mawuface ama challenges ucabanga ukuthi hayi it's GOBELA's fault. No, face this challenge because kusasa that very problem is going to be ngizothini part of strength sakho ukuthi ungene lapha uyilaphe leyo nkinga.
And like you say, police by idlozi lakho go on allow my challenges now. That is what your ancestors will expose you to so that utokhula. I think for that we because without those challenges angeke ukhule. Clear sure ukuthi bathi labanye manje why do I have to go through hardship to learn stuff? But that is the only way that we learn stuff. What have you learned in your soft space? What they want to learn in softness. It was like, hey, towards this out how old was that colleague sit them down abantu likunike logo look for now. Because the assumption and the way that life is now, it's no it's not bad to want nice things and to want soft things and to want softness. We all want it, but it is not the ways of our people. It's not the ways in which our people were teachers. It's not the ways in which, it's not even just our people, it's just life, the nature of life. If you look at the universal laws, and there's nothing that you will find in the comfort zone. You need to get out of your comfort zone for you to be able to grow.
Lonely at the top.
To be able to grow. And if you remain in your comfort zone, you die. There's no growth there. So it's a similar thing. Lidagyekelela as well. Uve uthi manje ayi ledloti ngathi alisekho olamadloti atagekela makucabanga ukuthi uhlakaniphile. Bo clever ke vele ledloti tahlala lapha and to let you run the show.
Yeah.
And show yakho. Yeah, no, kuba show yakho. Run your show. Angithi yona ufuna run show. Run the show. And mangabe likhombisile ukuthi hamba uye kuphi lapha uyokhula khona. There's a reason why idloti lakho sends you there. And balikuthumele lapho akusho ukuthi ukuthi angeke usakhula kuletinye indzawo, but yonke indzawo inemithetho yakhona. And part of ukukhula umthetho is part of uncomfortability, because there's a reason why kunemithetho. Ngabe makude umthetho kuba ithela wayeka bonke umuntu will do as they please. And when we are doing as we please, it is us fulfilling our ego needs when we're doing as we please. But when we now are looking to be humble and to be humbled, that is when we learn to follow imithetho. Humility will teach us, or imithetho will teach us humility as well. Because lapha kunganamthetho khona, then akuna order, and then there's nothing there that will kick that humility into action. Lapho ufunda khona ukuthi kufanele ngitithobe. Mangitithoba ngitithobela ini. It is for my benefit. It is for idloti lami's benefit. So like lokuthi kucabanga ukuthi idloti leta kusicilata. And I've learned that it is actually not that way. Ukhuluma ukuthi kudelo ya ephehlweni animal, and I laughed because that was what happened with me. When mangiyongena bengingadinesi ngiyolibhadalela ngalelo phehlo lelo. How is this even going to happen? I looked at this budget and I thought, oh my God, how is this going to happen? But I learned ukuthi I am here because this is where, because of them, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And if I'm doing the right thing, then I'm trusting me and they will provide. And that was umphatlo wami. I'm listening and I am following through based on your word, and this is my situation. I'm telling you about it not because you don't know it, because you have put me in this situation. I am just speaking to you because there's nobody else for me to speak to about this situation. And so I'm ngiyangena la nidawubona ukuthi all these requirements that are needed are how you guys are going to make it work. And Lidloti faithful. My Lidloti was faithful, I'm going to say that. It made sure that those things, and it made sure that I never get back to that position where I was mangyongena ephehlweni. So that is for me. Yes. That for me has been the greatest thing. And what I push for is that I never get to a point lapha ngicabanga ukuthi khona ngingcono kunedloti lami. You know, because that is the point where lapha ngicala khona hlupheka futhi.
Kakhulu. Njalo gogo. Njengoba uhambe uthi uyothabatha ubunyanga. Mina ngibhileka ukuthi akusi choice. Awuzenzanga. Uyayizwisisa. So kwayena uGobela mawuzoya kuyo usuka abonisiwe naye ukuthi hayi kunomntwana so azongena. Kwayena akusukuthanda kwakhe ukuthwasisa. You understand? Ngoba isiphiwo sakhe. Uyayizwisisa. Angisho abanye bayathwasa bayaqeda, umunye kuvuleke lebe kayifisa ekhaya kuphela ukuhlupheka, bathola imishado, bathola imisebenzi, amabhizinisi avuleke, bathola abantwana. sikhuluma ngento ezinjalo masikhuluma ngama-generational curses. I don't know, you can add nokuthi maybe abanye kuney'lwana i-psychosis ziphela izinto ezinjalo kube nokuthula kube nokuzwana, but sometimes that doesn't happen ngoba I believe ukuthi i-opposition izohlala ibe khona. Mara futhi even if i-opposition iba khona, sometimes uyasuka futhi uphumile khona lapha ephehlweni kube uye lo uthi usweetheart wakho umyeni bathi hayi asifuni inyanga thina asifuni magodo enyanga naye futhi athi angifuni inyanga bese ke ila sekusuka sekumosheka khona ngoba umuntu makakulobola ulobola nalo lelo dludli lakho uyayivisisa ngoba kususuka futhi kube nani ukudonsisana uyayizisa idlozi nalo lifuna ukubusa ngapha unomyeni asindluleni kuye.
Yeah, you're starting a very interesting one.
That is why ama relationship esikhathini esiningi thina ezinyanga akuhambi kahle kodwa siyakwazi ukuthi sisize abanye. It's not every healer, but most healers siba ne problem when it comes to ama relationship ngoba amadlozi nawo bafila ngathi wethu, you understand, ngapha naye ulove ufuna umuntu wakhe, wena ufuna ungena endumbeni ngapha naye ufuna umfazi wakhe. Sometimes kwenzana kuba neclash.
Makufika ithwasa, just your experience about having amathwasa in your space.
Yeah.
Because as boGobela, it's a we bring people to strangers, people we don't know ukuthi babuya kuphi bakhuliswe njani, what their intentions are, because noma umuntu wafike atothwasa labanye banema intentions wabo. And we also, even if you sit down and we speak around expectations and stuff, there's always things that will not come up in the conversation. So in as much as some will be honest and you are as honest as possible, and you this is your home and you run your home in the way that you run your home, you find that there's always going to be differences and expectations again of you as a Gobela, and as much as you have expectations and of the people that are actually coming into your space to actually live in harmony with everything and every creature and every spirit that they actually find kwakho. Now you expect ukuthi, that's why nomama phathlela bafika and they are being welcomed ukhuluma kakhulu namadlozi wabo instead of the actual person ukuthi lakha kube nenhlaliswano. So I just want you to share also with me how your experiences have been, what your experiences have been like in having people in your space, because it's kind of tricky, because awuhlali wedwa. There's also likhaya bantwana bakho, you share the home with your partner. There's other people that probably live in the space. Kunetilwane takho also in the space. If you have chickens, you have dogs, you have whatever pets that you have, and then now there are these people that are coming to join the space.
It differs from thwasa to thwasa, right? Kunabanye amathwasana omunye uthola ukuthi uthulile akusumuntu okhulumayo, omunye outspoken like me, hayi uyaziphaphela vele, omunye in between. So mina what I do ukuthi ithwasa malifika njengoba uyazi ukuthi process yini, ukuthi umuntu yafika uyamphahlela uyamcheck ukuthi idlozi lakhe lihamba kanjani, ukuthi nizokwazi ukuthi aqhubeke nale process kanjalo, like sihlala sithole i-guidance from idlozi ukuthi ukhamba kanjani. Once loyo muntu sekuthiwa ungenile, yazi ukuthi process yani yokugajela ngisho gogo. Once agajelile uyakhipha igama ukuthi ubani uze ngani ukwenzakalani, sewuyacala ngendaba ufaka ubuhlalu ufaka i-uniform yakhe, bese ke nedumane, bese ke siyamtshela umthetho wasekhaya. Ngisho wonke amakhaya anomthetho, angeke angazi ukuthi mele ngingene deep ukuthi umthetho yini or ngibe nemfihlo yami. It becomes tricky there. But in most cases ithwasana lihlala endumbeni. Mina ngitshela ngobami bahlala endumbeni 24/7. If uyasebenza loyo muntu wenza umsebenzi wakhe wedlozi bese ke ekseni thokoza baba ngiyahamba ngemsebenzini. Abanye njengoba bekuyi-COVID bebathi hayi gogo thokoza baba sicela ukuthi sisebenzele khona le ndumbeni. Hayi bavula ama-laptop wabo anginankinga mina. Makufike i-client lo asebenzayo uyaphuma ohlala ngaphandle. Lo ukuthi akasebenzi uyoba busy nami endumbeni siloko sihlola abantu. So my husband ngiyamazisa ukuthi no kunomntana odluze ngenini. In the beginning he was very not accepting. Angikhuluma manga. Bekafila ngathi abo bana hamba ethenga indlu yakho. But now we understand because kwayena bangacanga ukuthi mina ngathwasisa. No kwa mina vele amathwasana bengiloko ngiwaphupha nomuntu mathi hayi ngiphuphile ngifuna uzothwasa hayi bengingayi entertain ngoba sine problem manje ezabugobela ukuthi umuntu mazoza azothwasa kuwe you have to carry that responsibility. So irresponsibility into yokuqala le bengiyisapha. I-client ingcono than ithwasana. I-client yangena thokoza gogo bekumali yakhe uyambula bese ke uyamsebenza bese kwenza uphuma ngegate. Uzombona mase kushubile athi thokoza umlungisele yahamba. Ithwasana lihlala nawe. Ithwasana liyazi ukuthi udlani awudlini, liyazi ukuthi kunenkinga ezisi. So inkinga zami ezipersonal angithandisisi ukuthi ngikhulume namathwasana. Bazele ukuzothwasa abazele ukuthi abazanga kumuzi wami baze endumbeni. Eyiva gogo. So ithwasana mina bamfuna ukuthi mabahambile bayosebenza like if say the thwasa is a working thwasana mele bafike endlini or ekhaya at least before 6 o'clock or 6 imshayela say aphakathi kwamagulubi. They understand. Angeke ngene ku process ukuthi you understand but siyavuka kulalo dlozini ngoba mele umuntu uzele usesikolweni uzele sisempini yomoya. Umuntu uzele uzothwasa ukuthi avule inhlanhla zakhe avule inhlanhla zasemndinini. So nami yabona ukuthi ngihleka kanjani ngi very ngizothina accepting and very easy, but there comes a time makumele singene emsebenzini mele ngibe strict nethwasana because I want abantwana bami ukuthi mabaphuma they must be better than me. I believe that's what every parent would want. So also sometimes ithwasana nalo abangeni ngokufana. Omunye uyangena bakibo bayam accept ukuthi no unabantu abadala bayakusupporta wena as uGobela. Abanye they look at you and think mncane wena. Wazini wena. Kanti kwamina ngazi lutho. Ubanazi Muhlavasi. Uyazo ngibonisa ukuthi hayi ngoba loyo mntana ulethe uye hayi mina if I had it my way bengeke ngibe la we wouldn't even be talking. I probably would have been there running after about amaphosa ngama camera bali story lapha. That's what I chose to study. That was my calling, journalism. But that was Tsogfatso kudala feel. 5 years I feel Tsogfatso 6 years manje. Ubusa Muhlavasi manje umyeni naye manje ukuthi kunethwasana uya understand ngoba uyazi ukuthi kunama repercussions. Ma athi ujikisa lo mntana athi mina ngingathwasisi uthi lo mntana agulayo mela yephi. So uya understand manje ngoba naye uke wabona ukuthi hayi kahle lo mfazi wami kumele asize laba abantu. Ngiyangithanda inyanga.
It's not just your space. The space is shared. So nama rules wakhona that you give to wonalawo mathwasa should actually also incorporate and be considerate of the needs of the other people that actually live in the space. And that right there is the challenges that the space challenge that I'm speaking about is boGobela. It's really not just about you. So the challenges are not just personal, they are also they're also experienced by the other people that actually live in the space, and also how they experience you as a mother.
Yeah.
Because now, if you're not sleeping, or if your sleep pattern is disrupted, if you have all these other responsibilities as well, your role as a mother is actually, I'm not going to say compromised, but they now need to share you with others.
It's true. It is compromised because, say for instance, uKUTHWASA liyangidinga ukuthi maybe khona into emele siyicheke, or maybe ifamily kaThwasana yeza bafuna ukuhlola, like ngibahlole bona, and then bathi I get a call manje bathi umntana uyagula kumele ngiye esikolweni. What happens? Ngiwani phela.
Yeah.
So compromise at every single point. Mawinyanga uhlala uso. Yes, ngoba nakhona your wifely duties angazi kwabanye abantu, mara mina yami impandeni ukuthi mawuthwasisa izoma bedroom ziyavaleka until lo mntana aqede.
Yeah.
Yes. Mele sizile ukuhlonipha abantu lelo dluti. Sizobuyela ku the bold and the beautiful lo mntana makase aqedile umsebenzi wakhe akhashiwe anendumba yakhe.
So what if it was a little lakhaya for 4 months, 5 months? So umyeni kufuneka ahlale
uzohlala gogo, mele ahlale. Mangahlali kukwakhe nedluti lakhe. Angigadagani mina. Angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngigada indoda ngapha ngibhekana namathwasana. Ngishadile mina. Ngishadile. So if umyeni wants to go and have affairs and all of that, that's his onus. It's got nothing to do with me. I play my role as a wife, but mela understand ukuthi I am not only flesh, I'm spirit. Do you understand? I can't now compromise uKUTHWASA ngoba kusasa mabayazi ukuthi hayi lo siyamazi. You understand? Or bahambe bayohlola kuphi bathini bathi uGobela ungivalile. This is so mina on my side vele I do sacrifice ngiyazila mina.
I want to speak about how the specific rituals that amathwasa that lazilelwako. Because I'm looking at how then we our relationships are always compromised.
Yes.
Our lives are compromised because now what happens if your husband is going to, and I'm not even going to blame him if your husband now suddenly has an affair because you constantly have amathwasa and life needs to go on for him as well. So it would not even be fair of you to actually be expecting for him to abstain for a good 4 months, a good 5 months, a good year sometimes, because amanye amathwasa ayofika ahlale angakhoni kuhamba. So as long as lawo amathwasa ahleli lapho umntwana abantu, so those people are definitely going to have affairs. Even if naye bafati bakhe, if the gobela is male, bafati bakhe maka abstain in that period for that long duration like that, bafati bakhe are definitely going to go out there and find themselves other partners, and that compromises less goal, not just the relationship but his goal. For me, I think that is the most important thing. What then happens esigodlweni mangabe umuntu soyaphuma uyolala ngaphandle uyabuya lakhaya, and ulala is not just nje ngoba sibuya nalebo mimoya leyo. And so what measures do you put in place to make sure that you are not affected, busebenti wakho is not affected, sigodlo sakho is not affected by the extramarital affairs that are resultant of umsebenzi wakho lo wendako wobuGobela?
Uyazi ukuthi inyanga musi imithi ngithoza khona. Angeke ngiyifihle mina vele ngiyazivikela. Ikhaya lami liqinile akudlalwa kwami. So even if uthi thiwa bayazenza ziphelela le, mafika la ayikho yonke lento leyo nonsense. Wami umyeni even if uyazi makabuya ngiyamupha impande uyahlambulula. Yes, ngoba angifuni leyo mimoya, and I'm not even, because some people might feel like no, she's an idiot and whatnot, and oh, how can she allow her husband to cheat? it's beyond ukuthi husband should cheat or not cheat. Nginabantu abadala gogo. Kwamina ukuthwasisa bengingafuni ngoba bengiyazi ukuthi ezinto ezokufana nalezi ziyayenzeka. Ubhekana namathasana nomyeni wakho uzokushiya. Angeke ngibhekana nendoda, ngibhekana nedlozi. Ngoba loyo angangishiya ngibhekene naye ngithi ngiyeke idlozi. Idlozi lithi ayiye.
Yeah.
Uyayiva gogo?
Of course.
So enye into sihlanganisiwe mina nomyeni wami ngamadludi. Mangiphuma ephehlweni uGobela wami vele waye idlozi lami indoda yami walobola. So kahle school fees sami sibhadele umyeni wami. So sahlanganiswa. So uqinisile mawuthi mangihamba yenza izinto ziyabuya futhi zizongi-affect. Kodwa mina angeke zingi-affecte kanjalo if kuthiwa nginethwasano ngoba ngisuka ngingalalanga naye. Ngisuke ngizilile. And nakhona masiqeda ukuthi kube nokudibana nana ngihlala ngihlambulula mina. Angiyenzi mistake. Yayivisisa gogo. Leyo mimoya iphelela le. Hayi la.
Iselegedeni.
Yes. And angisearch ukuthi hayi efonini mina amadlozi wami angibonisa ngihleli so. Ngibona iafenga kaqali. Sewuyangazi. Nami senyamazi. So makunethwasana masiyithu vele hayi ngamqala or sometimes it's whatever. But makunethwasana nalo idlozi sometimes idlozi lavivini. Lizofuna ubona ukuthi kahle wena ingqondo yakho ubhekana nendoda obhekana nethwasana. We understand. So the problem is that we sacrifice ourselves. Our marriages get sacrificed. Our relationships get sacrificed because now mntana abantu njengoba usho mela yenzeni ene mela yenzeni vele. Mina I also believe ukuthi naye loyo muntu mele understand ukuthi unomuntu ukuthi unabantu abadala but esikhatheni esiningi abantu besilisa ba understand.
Noma ngabe baya understand, we are actually now asking for what the near impossible. If we are talking about 4 months, a minimum of 4 months, uthi umntwana abantu utawuhlala mele wena nedlozi lakho. Do you understand? It's actually unfair.
That is about umuntu mele uphiwe amadlozi. Awuveli now uthi hayi ban ngoba leyo relationship lawo madlozi mangahlangananga enendaba yenyongo is also very important. Ngiyakwazi gogo angifuni ukudrifta ku topic but some of these things mele sisihambise ngani ngendlela the same way ukuthi okay say ithwasana liqedile amathwasana aqedile leyo 4 months or leyo 1 year or whatever yena hambe nathi uyothandana nami ngizohamba ngiyothandana ngilaya abantu ngoba mina ukuthandana kwami ngihamba nawo lawa madlozi ngiyongcolisa lawa madlozi ngiyozivala mina emsamo. You understand? Ngoba sorry to say this, but in most cases amadlozi are sexist. Yes, ukuthi in most cases umuntu wesilisa ngaba nabafazi bayi2 mara wena umuntu wesifazana bathini ma unabantu abaningi bathini bakuphigama ngisho lela ngeke sikhulule
ngaphandle bengisho about the patriarchal nature of the space but sikhohle ukuthi ungenwa ngamakhehle uthole ukuthi now you as a woman now uthi ngabafati labaningi as well but and ngiyabona ngathi okay bafati bakhona nakhona bakhethwa ngilo lelo based on what they are going to contribute or their contribution that but they later lasigodlweni but singayeki ukuthi we live in a patriarchal society but I want us to even as we acknowledge that I want us to also acknowledge that spirit works actually differently. Umoya nawo usebenza ngendlela osebenza ngayo based on those responsibilities and lokutila or lokuzila or the fasting that you actually speak of during the periods lapha kuthwasiswa khona lapha kunebantwana khona ekhaya. Just looking at that and considering that, would you say that just give me your thoughts on polygamy. Do you think that polygamy would actually be a good
Definitely.
way to actually address the situation.
Definitely. I completely agree that polygamy would work. Here's why. Ngogobela nabantwana bedluzi ngiyathwasisa. My husband has sexual needs
that she cannot meet.
I can't meet. What happens? Uthola umamncane uyahamba lapha benza izinto zabo ku right. So it's better loyo muntu mangimazi because sometimes mangamazi angimazi ukuthi umuntu onjani ukhule kanjani usebenzisa imithi emibi or not but mina I would be open to such. I wouldn't have a problem because ngiyazi ukuthi ngisebenza abantu.
And how you also
so I'm not gonna be always be available for my sexual needs like. I'm just being honest. It's our reality.
And you also will know in that way, I believe that not only where he is, but there's a measure of control in things that actually then affect his gojo. Because it's really not just about you. What other challenges are there have you experienced in actually sharing space now? Not just relationships in the home, but the sharing of space. I don't know how you actually
lack of discipline is what I have experienced. There are a set of rules from what you eat, how you conduct yourself, social media, phones, technology. I mean, I believe as much as I am on Twitter and I'm on other social media platforms, I believe ukuthi mawusephehlweni yeka lezo zinto. You would find I've had an experience where a twasa from Enyimpande calls me to do a telephonic consultation. And I felt ukuthi I said to that person and obviously mela hlole lo muntu ubona mase umhlolo ukuthi lo muntu uyithwasa. You understand? Akakhuluma nedloti lakhe bambonisa ukuthi because manje it causes confusion ngoba umuntu ufila ngathi hayi yazi ithi ngihambe ngize kuwe cela mhlabasa akayenze zona kanti uzele ukhapha uthunyiwe na. You understand? Number one, hey ekudleni yo it's a problem. There's a list kunezinye izinto azidliwe. I'm sure it differs from Enyimpande to Mbande. You understand? Things like amaqanda amathwasa no mawadla amaqanda. Dairy products abawadla. So thola ukuthi some of these products thola umunye sewufuna ukusukela ama noodles. No. Sesizola ngoba angisho kuna nesimanje manje. Ngoba umunye usuke naye uyibone ku Instagram wena uhlele endlini yena usendumbeni ku Instagram ufuna ukubona. I can't. There's certain things that you as a gobela can do, but you can't always police amathwasa. So it discipline.
And it should not be a responsibility actually. Once you have been told, because these are actually the rules, it's the onus is on the twasa to actually make sure that they follow the rules, because it's not about you being a police cop
and loyalty. You being loyal to impande yakho idloti lakho is not saying you are being loyal to gobela wakho. Once you have completed your process yokuthwasa, it's up to you, but uqedile. You understand? So whatever happens after, if uzohlala siqhubeke relationship yethu, that's on you, my sweetheart. But I've done my part.
True. When it stops working, it stops working.
Thank you.
And you just move on, because you're not eternally yoked. You were yoked for the msebenzi that we're supposed to do, and for the umsebenzi wakhona uphela mase kuthiwa umsebenzi sowuphelile. So all the processes have been done. Akakhululeka.
Yeah, akakhululeka. Number 3, finances. Yo. It's a tricky one. But ma uzothwasa mina ngibelieve into one. Angeke ngikhambise ngendlela ukuthi angakahambi ngayo.
True.
If ukuthiwa kufuneka i-clip drift lapha ku list emsamo. Sayithenga ngisho mina ngisephehleni. Now mele uyithenga. Awuthengeli mina. Mariza ngoba mazifikile mina zibuza. Wena mawuzothi angifuna. Leyo mali uyitholile khona lapha ephehlweni iyakho or yedloti lakho. Nakhona also going back to the whole finances thing, nathi as boGobela, we shouldn't be over excessive emadlozini naphezu komathwasana. Do you understand? It's not a umgidi wedlozi. Akusi a fashion show, so to speak. Do you understand? So ikhwama nazo futhi azifani. Akhona sometimes uyalithola ithwasana ukuthi hayi linamandla. Uthola elinye nkosami liyatotoba. So sometimes ngithi kuyadifara. But kunelinye uthola ukuthi hayi idlozi limphile ukuthi enze lo. Yena sewucabanga ngokunye. You understand? Yena akekho. So ufuna ukuthi wena akucindezele ukuthi uzohlala for isikhathi eside. Anginamali baba, anginamali. You are delaying yourself because I've done my job. And it's not even about the money. You're wasting whose time?
It's actually very tricky when it comes to finances because, like we said at the beginning of the conversation, that a method will take from you to get you to where you actually need to get to. They will take from you not only where you need to get to in terms of geography, but also in terms of spiritually, where you need to get you to your knees, to humble you, like we spoke of. So those two, that also is a big factor, the finances, because when you get there, you actually do need those. You need to have the a kind of financial muscle to be able to do the things that are required for the rituals, also for also just to keep a GOBELA, the contributions to the life of the GOBELA as well.
There's a lot of deception that takes place between amathwasana na boGobela. Sometimes uGobela omunye usuka gijima isimali. I've had first-hand experience of such a GOBELA. I won't mention her name, but ngahlala 5 months. Ngiphume nani? Ngishiye konke. Idlozi lithi shiya konke. Sifuna ukuthi uyothatha kumuntu oso. Ngahlangana noGobela wami kuthi junction. Mina lo. Angenanga njengabanye abantwana ukuthi omunye maybe bekuyi client, omunye maybe uvele wakhwaza idlozi lapha egate azanga ngafana nabanye. Mina bangidobhe endleleni, mafela endleleni.
This is your second GOBELA now?
Yes, ngisho ukuthi mafela endleleni idlozi lami lomkhulu. So ngithi mafela endleleni wangisa endleleni ukuthi sihlangane noGobela wami ukuthi ngihambe ngiyocatelela iprocess. And when I met uGobela wami, my second GOBELA, it was, I was supposed to go to work because I had a hearing. So uGobela wami, my current GOBELA, she was going to buy imbuzi with ithwasana bekuyintwaso the next day. So mina angisho bengimpuphile bebangibonisile ukuthi umuntu onjani. I didn't even say into eziningi. I parked my car on the side lapha ePitit at Devton next to Mayfield. Ngavele ngathi angazi ukuthi ne handbrake kwenza njani. Ngamlanda ngathi thokoza baba. Athokoza mntana ngithi baba amadlozi wami bathi bafuna ukuthi ngihambe nawo. At first she was reluctant and I said please. She's like asame ndumbe. Idlozi lazivukela khona lapha wakhe. Manje se ikhane ke simele ngisuke kulo ngiye kumunye. So it's another challenge leyo ngoba uGobela wami akathanda umuntu oguqulayo, akabathatha abantu ukuthi usuke waku from another mpande, but I was an exception. That is why nami I've had to ukuthi ngajudge because I've been there. Yebo, phathi the previous GOBELA bekangishaya ngezilwana, bekayenza zona lezo ukuthi abe excessive, angishiya ahamba yo. The first GOBELA, yes, that's the first GOBELA. The first GOBELA would leave me, she would sleep around, she would leave me ahambe ayodakwa, and I would have to fend for myself. Mangeni client ngihlola ngiwani uGobela is nowhere to be found, but money is just going out. You understand? Akunamthetho, akunagwa impande. Umuntu okhona mambuza zempande njani athi hayi ngiyoyithenga eMpumalanga. Vele ubona ukuthi wena. So angeke ngihleka umuntu umntwana wedlozi olahlekileyo ngoba kuthiwa hayi bavala idlozi lakhe. I don't think ukuthi idlozi liyavalwa mina. Idlozi likuwe. Yeyive gogo. Mele uphahle wena ukhulume nalabantu abadala. Ubathethise ukuthi hayi Nkosi yami ngihleli 5 months akunyakazwa. Akunyakazwa. Ngiyapi? Where to from here? They will definitely communicate. A problem nathi futhi siseshe si give up. Sifuna yena loyo Gobela bengimblame for the longest time ngimblamile. Kodwa namhlanje ngiyambonga ngoba wangikhulisa. Namhlanje ngiyinyanga. Akayazi nokuthi yena lezi zinto ezimbi bekazenza la kimi zingenza ukuthi ngikhule la.